Kia ora koutou, taloha ni, Nisa Bulavinaka, whakalofa lahi atu, kia rana, malo elele, afade, talofa lava, and warmest of Pacific greetings. My name is Selta Afili Dr. Patrick Thompson, and I'm a lecturer in Pacific Studies here at the University of Auckland. The Centre for Pacific Studies is part of Te Wānanga o Waipapa, the School of Māori Studies and Pacific Studies. We are a department that is uniquely positioned to be able to centre Pacific and Indigenous ways of knowing in the pursuit of knowledge, which is what Pacific Studies is all about. It is about sharing knowledge, producing new knowledge, and equipping people with the ability to use knowledge in a way that benefits our communities, our families, and our people. Today I'm going to give you a brief outline of some of the things that I teach in my role and the kinds of knowledge and material that you can expect to be exposed to by committing to a Pacific Studies focus in a BA here at the University of Auckland. Currently, I am the undergraduate advisor for Pacific Studies. So for all you prospective students, I'm here to help answer any of your queries regarding course requirements, enrollments, and provide advice to you around planning your Pacific Studies major, in tandem with the Arts Student Centre, of course. I'm also currently the course coordinator for our Stage 1 course, the Contemporary Pacific, which I'll be teaching second semester, and I'll also be coordinating our Pacific 100 course next year, an Introduction to Pacific Studies. I also teach Gender in the Pacific in a Globalizing World, a Stage 2 and Stage 3 course that applies a gender lens to the Pacific world and explores the way that it connects us, the Pacific, to wider global discussions around the rights of status of women, trans, non-binary, and queer bodies. We are currently the only Pacific Studies Centre in New Zealand that has a gender course on the Pacific that centres Pacific queer gender perspectives, meaning we also aim to be a safe space for rainbow queer LGBTIQ8+ identifying students. At Pacific Studies, our course offerings are positioned into 4 streams of focus: history, politics, and society, health, well-being, and identities, languages, performance, arts, and Indigenous knowledge, with leadership, innovation, and sustainability being the 4th. In your first year of a Pacific Studies major, you can expect to be challenged intellectually in terms of what your assumptions and ideas of what the Pacific is and what Pacific Studies can do to improve your understanding of the world. The Tongan scholar and one of the modern foundational experts of Pacific Studies, Epeli Hauofa, in his famous essay, Our Sea of Islands, asked us to reconsider the way we frame the Pacific region. People often talk about our region being of a large ocean, the largest in the world, but filled with tiny islands with small populations, few natural resources, underdeveloped, and in need of foreign assistance and guidance. But this is not the reality of the Pacific that I know. Nor is it the reality for many people around the region who are working daily to ensure our people are not swallowed by the after effects of climate change, that our cultures and languages continue to thrive, that our people's contributions globally are recognized as uniquely ours and powerful. We are not a group of islands in the sea. We are a sea of islands in an ocean whose vastness and richness were first known by my ancestors. Perspective is everything, and unfortunately for Pacific peoples, the Pacific has been written, romanticized, and drawn in relation to Western European American eyes. On every world map, you are given a Euro-American centric understanding of the world. Let's take Greenland, for example. It's always drawn on world maps as a significant landmass, but in reality, Greenland barely fits into a quarter of Brazil's territory. For the Pacific, our central region, which is our ocean, can fit easily within it the land masses of Greenland, China, India, the United States, and Canada. Yet we are still talked down to as a region as being small, insignificant as a singular monolithic entity. Often we talk about and use the term Pacific as if it's capable of capturing all the richness and complexity of the many, many island groups, languages, cultures, and histories that are placed under this umbrella. In Pacific 100 and 105, I will challenge your perspective and understanding of the Pacific region and Pacific peoples. You will get the opportunity to learn about the diversity that is the Pacific. So in addition to learning about the colonial history of the Pacific, which divided us into Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia, you'll also be given a tour across the region as it stands today by a variety of different guest lecturers who come from different parts of the Pacific. Here at the Centre for Pacific Studies at the University of Auckland, we share an unflinching belief that knowledge of the Pacific, research on the Pacific, and learning about the Pacific should be led by people of Pacific heritage. You will only ever have Pacific people in front of your classroom talking about the many issues that our communities are currently grappling with themselves. Some of the issues that you can expect to learn relate to redefining some of the challenges we are facing in the Pacific. This will include development approaches to the Pacific region with the backdrop of climate change, the startling and diverse political issues in the Pacific that relates to sovereignty and self-determination. We will also be covering human rights frames. We also deal with representations of the Pacific through art and music. There will be units on Pacific languages and Indigenous Pacific knowledge and their application here in New Zealand today. Central to what we teach at Pacific Studies relates to the unique positioning of our centre here in Auckland, the city that has one of the largest Pacific diasporas in the world. Connected to that are issues around identity for second and third generation Pacific peoples here in Aotearoa and how this affects their health and well-being. Further to that, we dive deeply into issues around gender, gender liminality or Pacific third genders, and how they fit into Pacific worlds. We also look at Pacific women and the experiences of being the most or one of the most marginalized groups in New Zealand society today. You will also be introduced to Pacific voyaging and the way Pacific peoples are using ancient knowledges and technologies to build sustainable futures and tomorrows. And of course, we cover spirituality and religions and how all of these issues are interwoven. In my classes, there will be assumptions that I will work to emphasize in your learning around the Pacific as a whole. Mobility, Pacific people's movement across the world as part of our people's genealogy of voyaging and exploration. Transnational, that we are global shapeshifters who are innovative and adaptable, meaning we straddle multiple worlds and are not just rooted in one place, connected. Even with movements across the globe, Pacific peoples remain connected to each other through various means. And due to the fact that the Pacific South is relational, the individual does not fully know themselves outside of the context of a collective group. Further to this, due to the highly reflective and critical approach we take to the study of the Pacific, the assessment in Pacific Studies are all about helping students develop nuance, critical engagement, and enhance their ability to develop informed opinions and positions on Pacific and global issues. Lectures are dynamic and interactive. We encourage talanoa or a dialogue between students and staff, allowing Pacific students in particular to be their full Pacific selves in the classroom. Taking a Pacific Studies major as part of your BA at the University of Auckland will help you to develop critical thinking skills, cultural awareness, self-reflexivity, articulate and nuance responses, as well as the ability to work toward deadlines and work collaboratively in a respectful way. So to wrap up, come and study with us at Pacific Studies. We promise that you will be given the opportunity to expand your horizons in a way that benefits and interests you, respecting the unique position that Tamaki Makaurau and Aotearoa has in the world of Pacific Studies. A BA in Pacific Studies is the way to go, in my humble and honest opinion. Whawhetai, manuele aso, mamalo lava.